So I'm going to give a quick overview over the Chrome extension. What is its intention? Why did I do it? And what is it going to help? So I'm going to start at the end. First of all, Molly Mahoney today, 19 hours ago, did a video on how to use an MCP Chrome extension. I actually this morning wrote an article about MCP. When you go in, this article here is completely written with my Chrome extension and my publishing things. So my intention with this is to be quickly able to produce articles like this. And what you see is they're media rich, they're long, they're SEO enhanced, and so on. So I'm going to put a link below here to this article, and you can go and take a look at it. Now, how do you produce this? This is no joke. This article here was produced with me just doing a couple of clicks. Just go read it. If you think it's junk, tell me, but I think it's a pretty good quality for what it is. And you can go through many of these articles here, and they're all written with it. The only difference right now is your pictures are very uniform, but that is one thing that I'm working on. So when you go and you work on the quote unquote internet, you come past somebody that has done a video or an article is somewhere and you want to write something too. Maybe you want to write a Facebook post about it, maybe you want to write a blog post about it, whatever. If you did this, you have right now, you have 14 minutes of video to watch, then you have an article to write, and whatever. And I want to do this faster. So what I did is I developed a Chrome extension. I'm going to show you the development version. It's available in the Chrome store. I'm going to show you the development version of it. So basically what we have is I'm going to just delete the content here. So when you open it up, the last content's usually in there, unless it's in the archive. And you basically get the content, with submit content, you submit it to wherever you have set this up. I'm going to go through this very quickly to show you the configuration. So I have different ways of configuring it. We can set authors. You see there's 4 authors in here right now. There's categories that were in there. It can write in English, German, Spanish, French, Russian, and Chinese right now, but you can also add other languages. We have different publishing platforms that we can use. There's 3 API keys that you need, one for OpenAI, one for Anthropic, and one for Perplexity. It works with just the OpenAI key, but if you only have the OpenAI key, your AI agents, which it provides, are only going to be the OpenAI agents. So, for example, I have a Facebook LinkedIn viral post repurposer agent that's working on Anthropic Sonnet. If I want to edit it, it'll pull it up. There's a system prompt, and you can edit that prompt whichever way you want. There is a translator, for example, that's an OpenAI GPT-4 Mini. And you see here it actually has a variable so that it uses the language that it's sitting on. And you can then combine all of these AI agents into AI workflows. And when you edit these, you see here that you can add any AI agent in there. And right now I'm just going to leave it there. I have some configurations that these configurations come with a Chrome extension. The premium tab here is just for the license. So you get a trial, a 14-day full trial, and then you have to purchase it, but you have a 14-day full trial with this. So what we can do then is you go to change client. This is meant to actually write content for multiple clients. You can just write it for you, or you can write it for somebody else. You can switch the language in which you want to produce. You can switch to categories. You've just seen this. You can switch to publish platforms where it goes. You can send it to Facebook and LinkedIn or to the website, and then of course you can change the author. And what you can also do is the title enhancement. You can select the agent that actually creates the headline, and the same thing with the image prompt helper. So you are free to actually use whatever prompt you want in order to do this. Now when you go into AI agents, you see here that you can actually add a template. So you have OpenAI, Anthropic, and Perplexity available for doing this. You can put the system prompt in there, so you can put anything in there. So if OpenAI is in there as well, you can attach a knowledge base to it. So you can have a full GPT in here that works on the content. So the knowledge base functionality, when you're in here, you see I have a test knowledge base. You can upload unlimited images. So I think it's like 512 megabyte or something that's in there, and you can create multiple knowledge bases here with multiple things, and these knowledge bases can be attached to OpenAI agents. In addition to that, your content that you have can be archived and can also be added to the knowledge base. So that is one of the functionalities. Now, the YouTube function here is right now just a specification, but ultimately we're also going to be able to create videos with this. So with Get Content, this we're 6 minutes in, and I still haven't shown you how it works, right? Just went through a quick overview. So let's say I wanted to write an article about Molly Mahoney's video here. I just click on Get Content, and what it says, it will fetch the transcript. You see up here, this is right now switched on to the Facebook LinkedIn Viral Post Repurposer. It is sitting on English. You see here it's working. And so what it does, it pulls the transcript of this YouTube video and writes me a post. You see here at the beginning here, it has some pain points identified, and it's basically writing a full Facebook post. Now, if you wanted to pop this over to Facebook, what you can do is there's two things. You can have a publish platform that is capable of publishing this on Facebook. What you also can do is you can put it in the archive for later use. You can copy it into the clipboard, so you can just go to your Facebook and just pop it in there, or you can download it as a Word document. And this is a real Word document, nicely formatted. All of this stuff's down there. Of course, you can also edit it, and it displays the markdown, so it displays the format when you edit it. It's in there. So let's say you don't want to have the pain points in here. You just delete it out, and you just go into View, and here it is. You can copy it into things, and you're ready for Facebook. Let's say you wanted a blog post outline. You just switch it to a blog post outline. You say, oh, do me a blog post outline. Now, the blog post outline, you see here, that is actually a workflow. So what that workflow does, as you saw before, it goes to Perplexity, it researches the issue, then it gives you citations, and it comes back and writes blog posts. It's going to take a little bit longer for this to happen, but it will do it. Just give it a second here until it is back. So there we are back with it. Now we have a blog post outline that can be submitted to the website, and that is actually what produced, not this video here, but that's what produced the article that I showed you initially. Let's say you want a picture for it. You click on the image here, and you see here it says generating prompt, and with that prompt, and I have another video on how the image functionality works, it actually generates an image. Now you can also go into the other images here and switch over to modify, and you can just look at these images, and of course you can modify the images as well. So if I click on generate here, what you will see, it will stream the image because I have streaming enabled. You can actually download it after it's done. There is also going to be additional functionality that you can upload it and use it directly in your blog post and in archive. So that's the overview. You can do this not only with videos, but you can do this with any page. You can, let's wait for the image to complete. You can do this with content that you pop in there, and you can do this with content that you scrape from a web page. I'm going to show you that, but I'm going to pause until the image is done. So here we are with the image done. Now we could modify it if we don't like it. So how we're going to do this with non-video content. I've just shown you the video content. So non-video content is just as simple. Now we can leave this in here if we wanted to. We can go over here. Let's say we want to write something about Jitsu illnesses and stuff. And we found that this is actually ranking on the web. This is at the top. And so what we want to do is we want to write an article about Jitsu on our web page. I'm going to go here. Now, we don't want to use this. I want to generate a blog post for outlines. You can see the start agents that I have in here, when you click in here, you can actually star an agent, and then when you star it, it shows up in the drop down in the selector here, but we're going to leave that at generate outline. The content that is in here, we're not going to do anything with it, so I'm just going to I can archive it so that I can use it later. So if I archive it, click on this, and I'm going to archive, there it is. So we can then reload it and take it back in the editor. And now I'm going to get rid of it, and I said I want to have the Shih Tzu stuff here, and I want to generate an outline for a blog post. So I'm just going to click on here. You see it just scraped the web page, and now it is working, and it's generating an outline for a web page. So let's wait a little bit until it is done with that. Usually this takes a little bit because we have a workflow here and it's researching it. So here we are. So it generated a blog outline for a blog post. Now I have a publishing platform behind it that takes this outline and actually writes the post. So right now the Chrome extension doesn't write the post. But what you see here is what we have here is we have a headline that I don't really like. And I have set up the headline writer, which I showed you at the beginning. And if I click on the little T here, it actually is enhancing the title. So it writes me a headline that is according to the AI agent. It could, for example, have a knowledge base on headline networks. So you can set this up like a GPT that is doing headlines that work. And if I click on submit here, and I'm going to do that right now, we're just going to write Shih Tzu content in the AI implementation. So tomorrow you will be able to just go to my website and see what it did. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to leave it what it is. And so you can go on, you can look at for the Shih Tzu from the Tibetan monastery. That's what the headline is going to be. I'm just going to click submit, and when I click submit, it also archives it. So that's basically what this does. You can switch the language to another language. For example, I'm going to show you that if I switch it to German, which I also speak. And you see here now the language up there is German. And I could use another website where I could publish this. I have different ones in there. I can set this into different categories, but let's just leave it there because I'm not going to submit this. And if I'm going to get the content, and you see here it's now generating the outline for a blog post, and I want it to do that in German. Let's see what it does. So there we are back, and as you see here, it has produced an article in German. Let's see if I have set up the title already, that it also gives us a German title. Yep, it gives us a German title. So it basically calls about Shih Tzu Little Lion, and now I could submit this, and it will write me a German article about SEO optimized, etc. So that's basically it. That's the quick overview of what this Chrome extension can do, and it is currently on sale. If you want to go get it, link somewhere in the neighborhood of this video.